Hello, so welcome to this interesting series of entrepreneur I'm about to start today, and I'm so excited about it. This time we are starting a series for people that are interested in bookkeeping. Now, I know that some of you will immediately be put off when I mention bookkeeping. This series is for entrepreneurs that will use the data behind their business to make decisions. It is not for business owners that are working, basically flying blindly. This series are for businesses that are interested using data to run their business. And those are the people that will benefit from this series. My name is Bayode Agbi. And like I said, we're starting a series, a 3-part series on essence of bookkeeping, basically the benefit and how you can use bookkeeping as a fundamental foundation for your business to drive the growth of your business. It's a 3-part series. On the first of those series, which is the episode you are in today, we'll be looking at things around what bookkeeping is all about and those basic things you need to do immediately that will help you streamline your business bookkeeping, and the benefit of having bookkeeping properly done for your business. In the next episode, we'll be looking at those best practices that you may need to consider and look into and adopt for your business that will help your bookkeeping processes and be able to, that will also help you get the best out of bookkeeping. Now, the third part of this series, we will be looking at those technologies and those small things that basically technologies and tools that are out there that you can use and can become beneficial for your business. Let us start. First, I know bookkeeping is boring and most people don't want to hear it. So the usual practice most people adopt is to use their bank statement as their basic bookkeeping tools. Now, I won't say that is wrong, but you will not get the best benefits of your bookkeeping when you basically use bank statement. Now, but first we go, we need to understand what is actually bookkeeping. Now, bookkeeping is very simple. It is making sure that you record your financial transactions in your books on a daily basis. Now, that is basically what it is. Now, let me use an analogy to explain how bookkeeping is. So, assuming you are trying to separate a lot of pebbles that is put in one basket or one bucket, and you decide to create different colors of buckets, say blue for your revenue, bucket blue for your revenue, bucket red for expenses, bucket white for anything that you own, which is your asset, bucket gray for anything that you owe people. So as you throw the purples on the floor, you start picking and throwing each of these purples into the different buckets. Basically, that is what bookkeeping is. You are trying to create organization in the chaos that you kind of created for yourself as the business is unfolding, and making sure you have a meaning of it. Now, why is this very important? That's where we're going to talk of the benefit of why you should have a proper bookkeeping. One of the things that business owners need is to have a good grasp of events that occurs and the trend in their businesses. And that's where the issue of data comes in. This is what we spend on, say, petrol on a daily basis. This is what we spend on diesel on a monthly basis. This is what we spend to make repairs on a monthly basis. And this is how much income we make from this on a monthly basis. Now, why is this important? This helps you to make decisions based on data behind your business. Therefore, you are not flying blind. Being a business owner is already chaotic as it is. What you need is a bit of map and navigation into the journey you are taking. And bookkeeping provides that essence, at least that platform. Now, let me say, bookkeeping is not the same thing as accounting. In bookkeeping, the whole essence of bookkeeping is to ensure that those purposes that we're picking are actually put in the right basket. And that's where the categorization is very important in bookkeeping. So therefore, if you spend fuel money, that fuel, you could actually use it to run a generator. That same fuel could also be used to run a vehicle. Now, and they may apply to different activity in your business. Why the vehicle may be the fuel that you use to do delivery to your customers. The fuel that you use to run generator run the office. Therefore, it may not be what we call variable to the amount of sales you make. And that's where understanding the data behind your business is. And that's why I said I've used that analogy of using various buckets to hold various of your pebbles. Now, so assuming you have all your revenue are in blue categories, you can also have various shades of blue. I mean, the people that knows how to know color will have, they will say it is sky blue, turquoise blue, navy blue. You can have various blues and also further segment your revenue into those various groups. Now, why are we doing all this? Because it's important that at the end of even monthly, we're able to see those percentages that will help us make decisions. For example, if we're about setting a price, competitors have set their price to be, say, 1,000 naira for sale, and we are thinking of setting 950. What is the effect? What are those costs that we use that are direct proportion to those sales? So let's use the example again of the petrol that we're using to do delivery. Now, we've seen it that delivery for us may not be efficient. Why don't you subcontract it to somebody that can help us to do it? And let's say we are spending 60,000 on delivery in a month, and we're able to negotiate with the person, can you deliver for us this number of volumes of item to these customers that we normally would deliver to without even looking for a new customer at 40,000? Instantly, you are making a new margin of 20,000 naira. So that's number one benefit of bookkeeping, so that you can see what is coming in, what you are spending them on, what you owe, and what you're owned. Now, and where it gets more interesting is that you are now can use the trend analysis of that to make decisions. And that is what actually major difference between bookkeeping and accounting. Sometimes people tend to mix it together. The bookkeeping aspect is a bit administrative, where we try to categorize. The accounting is where sense is now made out of those data. Report is presented, is brought out of it. Bookkeeping is basically is a very, very administrative and very basic function. And it comes when you look at the department of your accounting. The second benefit of that is your budgeting and cash flow. When you have your bookkeeping properly done, you know what you make in terms of sales. You also know what you expend in terms of expenses to a very large extent. Now, given your judgment as an entrepreneur, which may be seasonal and all that, you know what can change. But the advantage of bookkeeping is that you now have the basis of making that decision, because you've now be able to know this is what we spend on petrol on a monthly basis. Everything being equal, if we are not changing any of our modus operandi, if we are not changing any of our strategy, we will spend this same amount on petrol in the next month. That makes it easier to make decisions, and that will help you to also do variance analysis. We plan to spend 10,000 on petrol. Why did we spend 15,000? Why did we spend 18,000? Or better still, how did we have come across the savings of 5,000? Is it that we didn't deliver to the customers that we wanted to deliver, Or was it that we're able to get discount from the fuel station if possible? And then you're able to have that understanding. And that is where your cash flow now comes in, because once you'll be able to get good grasp of your budget, you can now be able to see what is coming in, when, and if there's any gap, how do I fill in these gaps? Gaps in terms of funding. So do I need an overdraft to kind of meet that gap? Do I need a long-term loan? Do I need to just borrow from somebody? Or do I need to increase my sales effort? Because say, for example, if you see that the gap is coming at maybe in the middle of the month, and you feel that if I do a promotion now, I can actually make money by that time that I will need that money from sales. So you may not even need to go into that. So meaning that is the second benefit of having bookkeeping. First is that it shows you clearly how your payables are laid out. And the second is that you're able to do proper projection and then form strategy based on that projection and be able to plan that strategy I've got to do. Say, for example, you want to do social media, you want to do a lot of marketing. It is from your budget that you're able to know that, okay, we want to spend 300,000 on social media ad this month. But that is because we are expecting our sales to increase by this amount, and therefore increasing our bottom line. Now, there is a third advantage of doing bookkeeping. However, I call this a residual benefit or advantage for entrepreneurs. Your first reason why you want to do it is that so that you understand your business, you're able to make decisions on your business. The second is, like I said, also help the falls, because when you record properly, it now helps you project to the future. But the third, which is inevitable, is actually taxes. One of the things that bookkeeping helps you to do is keeping record of third-party document or the transactions as they occur. So let me ask an example. When last did you keep the POS slips from your fuel station that when you went to buy fuel? Some of you will just throw it away. Now, not that you want to throw it away. It is just not it's not convenient to keep. I mean, you keep a lot of small papers in your car, in your table, and they litter everywhere. One day you pack them and just throw them away. But actually, there is a philosophy in tax that usually the tax authority will want you to use documentary evidence to defend your tax position. And what is your tax position? You have said, for example, I spent 500,000 on petrol in the year you are looking at. And the man says, show me proof. And the only proof you have is your bank statement. Now, in some cases, you are lucky. Your bank statement shows something fuel station. That shows that you actually bought from a fuel station. But in some instances, it will show one individual name. And you know that this transaction was actually a fuel station. But because it shows an individual name, now you have left the discretion at the discretion of the tax authority to either allow or disallow those expenses. Now we'll come to that later. We are going to still have a whole series devoted to tax planning, tax management for entrepreneurs and SMEs. Now, that's a residual benefit for you, which you must also keep sight of. Don't be blindsided by it, because one of the things I also see mistake the entrepreneurs do is that when they are starting off, they don't usually consider tax matters until it comes around to bite. And at that time, it's already a big lion that can even swallow the entire business. Now, having understood the benefit of bookkeeping, and I agree with you, I know it's not an easy thing to do. I will tell you for a fact, because this podcast is about my experiences, that when I started Pillarcraft, it was a whole lot of issues for me when it comes to bookkeeping. I needed to really take our time to understand my strategy and how I'm going to pursue the bookkeeping. And those are the kind of lessons I'll be sharing in this series of how I was able to overcome bookkeeping. Now, but what are those things you can quickly do? If you are listening to it so far, that can help you quickly start looking at how you can streamline your bookkeeping. Number one, if you did not separate your personal account from your business account, this is the time. First, make sure you have a separate bank account for your business and another one for your personal expenses. And as much as possible, do not pay personal expenses from business bank account and vice versa. But I know that is an utopia, and that's why bookkeeping is also good, because every money that you spend on the business from your personal account can be treated as a loan or can be treated as your capital injection into the business. Your bookkeeping record will show that this amount that I expended, yesterday I was going out, the business bank account was not, the card was not with me, and I used my card to buy the fuel. That is your injection into the business. And if you actually spent your money, business, if you actually spend personal expenses from business, we will talk about the tax implication of that, but you can also record it as withdrawal. And that will show you where the business is at every particular point in time. So, number one thing you need to do immediately is separate your business account from your personal account. Number two, take out time to do your bookkeeping. Set out a particular time. It can be weekly, it can be monthly, but I will advise strongly that you do your bookkeeping, especially reconciliations, on a weekly basis. Because we have a tendency of forgetting transactions. Even though we spend the money by ourselves, sometimes when we're doing a month later and we'll look at that transaction, we'll look at it again, we can't remember what we actually spent the money on. So most times I advise business owners to make sure as much as possible, you're going to create time to do your bookkeeping yourself, maximum 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, if you can, best is every weekend, you do the reconciliation of it. You make sure that everything is entered. If you can, enter on a daily basis at the end of the day. And that's why sometimes our brothers that have shop, you see that when they close, they enter everything in a book. That's part of very big business management that they've kind of cultured into their business lifestyle. That is very wonderful. And some of you, if you also notice, some businesses go to them on weekends and they don't open early, say that they stop counting. It's those cultures that those are part of bookkeeping. 3, make sure you reconcile your bank statement maximum monthly to that your cash book. Maximum monthly. That will enable you make sure that you have a good grasp of what is actually really happening. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to chance. Make sure you put a lot of effort into this, because the bookkeeping is the major foundation for every other thing you want to do when it comes to your financial management. In fact, when businesses come to us in Pillarcraft, we kind of school them first on the essence of getting their bookkeeping right. Because we can't provide you accounting services, we can't provide you CFO services. Tax will be a big issue if you don't have bookkeeping right. So sometimes we even spend a lot of effort first to ensure your bookkeeping is right. And I also advise you to do the same. However, if it is too much of work for you, you can contact us at Pillarcraft. In Pillarcraft, we can provide you full outsourced bookkeeping services, including accounting, CFO, payroll, and all those services outsourced fully. We'll provide you a full-fledged accounting department remotely. Therefore, you don't need to worry about all this as I'm saying. All you need to worry about is how do you build business. And we also provide other support to help you on your journey. Now, if you want to contact us, kindly just visit our website, www.pillarcraft.com. On our website, there's a contact form. You can actually book a free session with me In that session, what we'll be looking at is basically doing a gap analysis. Gap analysis in terms of where are you in your business journey? What is your vision for your business? And then how does your bookkeeping tie to that journey? What are those tools you need that will help your journey? So contact us and let's see how we can help you to streamline your bookkeeping process and make you achieve the best results in your journey to success. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your time to join me on this week's episode of Accountant. We have actually impacted and added value to you. We thank you for taking out from your time to listen to us. Now, if you have found this very useful, kindly drop a message, drop a comment, contact us. Let's get your feedback. If there's any question you want to ask, you can actually just leave a comment and we'll definitely give you a response to it. If you found this very interesting, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast channel too, and follow us on all the social media platforms so that when we drop new episodes, you'll be the first to know. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.